But speaking of Doc Rivers,
Oh Lord.
how many more opportunities can this head coach get? I like Doc, but the man hasn't been to a conference final since the lockout season. We know he's blown multiple 3-3-1 leads, multiple 3-3-2 leads. You've been with the Celtics, you've been with the Clippers with the big three with DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul. Then you had Kawhi Leonard and Paul George the 1 year in the bubble in which you had the 3-1 lead against the Denver Nuggets, and he didn't do what you were supposed to do in order to win that series in Denver in advance. And the following year, we saw Ty Lue took over and got them to the conference finals. Mind you, that was when Kawhi Leonard got hurt during that series against Utah. You come into the Philadelphia Sixers, okay, you help out Joel Embiid, you help out Ben Simmons. You got the most out of Joel Embiid as far as with production, but you were supposed to help out Ben Simmons, improve his game, improve his jump shot. I thought Doc Rivers, I'm sorry, man, he's outdated. He's outdated, and I think it's best that he is best a colleague on ESPN. How many more opportunities can you get? And then you took over for the Milwaukee Bucks when they were the second team in the Eastern Conference at the time with Adrian Griffin. They had a 30-13 record. Okay, they had Giannis and Dame. They got Damian Lillard in the trade, and Damian Lillard was playing outstanding in the first half against the Pacers in Game One. They won Game One, and then games 2, 3, and 4 they lost. They won Game 5, and then Game 6 they lost in Indiana. I'm sorry, man. Doc Rivers is just outdated. Yes, I understand Giannis and Antetokounmpo did not play in that series. That definitely played a factor. We can't disregard that. But if I'm Doc Rivers, man, how many more opportunities can you get? To Champ's point, what is it, like Lenny Wilkins? Like,
Yeah.
like how many more chances can you get, man? I mean, shit, you getting like mad opportunities. I mean, damn, man. So, I just think it's time for like I don't know, man. What's your thoughts about Doc Rivers?
I mean, go
Uh,
ahead, Grant. I'm sorry.
you can go.
No, I mean, I knew this was gonna happen. Like, I'm keeping it a buck. This was the dumbest move the Bucks could have done. I look at the Adrian Griffin firing. I didn't get it at first, but now looking back on it, I kind of have some mild little bit of understanding. But bringing in Doc Rivers, like, when they announced the move, I thought it was a joke. I've said it on this platform. I thought this was a joke. Like, I didn't think that they were actually going to go through with bringing in a man who, in his career, like you said, it's supposed to be BSP, hadn't made the conference final since the lockout period. And we're sitting here like we're surprised. Now I get it. Giannis was hurt. Dame, they hadn't have Giannis and Dame in Game 5. They had Chris Middleton was balling in some of these games. Like Chris Middleton dropping 40 points is the craziest moment of 2024. Like, let's just keep it a buck. I'm more mad at the fact that people are gonna. I don't think you can say that this is a majority of Doc Rivers' fault. But as soon as Giannis wasn't playing, and as soon as they said the night before Giannis and Dame were out, I knew it was over. Like, you can have Chris Middleton and Pat Bev like drop a 50 points, and there's not going to be able to survive because without Giannis, because the whole reason that team was functioning like it was at the beginning of the season was because Giannis and Dame were there being able to be consistent. The problem, I think Doc is going to catch the fire for it. And I get it because especially even when they were healthy at the later half of the season, the Bucks were on a downhill trend that didn't look anything for what we thought. Because keep it up, I've said this before. When the Dame trade was announced, everyone had a lot of people, including their mother, had the Bucks being the favorites for the East. And we saw how this season played out. And if we went back and talked to ourselves now, we would all look stupid. We wouldn't have expected the Bucks to hit this downfall. I blame Doc Rivers for a little bit of it because I still don't think Doc Rivers can coach in a league like this that's changed as much as it has. Because I don't think I think he's still trying to use the same old tactics and stuff that he's more comfortable with. When let's keep it a buck, I don't think he knows what he's doing. But I think at the end of the day, are we even surprised? I didn't think the Bucks were going to survive anyway. Once they said Giannis wasn't playing, I knew it was over. So at the end of the day, I think Doc Rivers. I don't think they're going to fire him because I don't feel like that they would. I think they're going to give him another year, which is unfortunate. But I mean, you can't fire the dude after like half a season. Like I think that would make their situation even worse. But I think for me, it kind of stinks more for Giannis because I said this last week. Only reason why Giannis would have agreed to sign that Supermax deal is if they were going to commit to a championship contention. And technically they had it with the squad that they had built for Giannis. They had it. And I think, man, it's like another what could have been, man. Because that team at the beginning of the season, we all thought that team was going to wipe through the competition. And it all came downhill. And it's like another one of those big what ifs, man. Like, you can say whatever you want to say about Doc, say whatever you want about anybody else, man. The Bucks organization didn't make the smart decisions that's necessary, and it blew up in their face. So, I really don't know. You can't blame them at this point because that's just.
I can't blame him for taking the head coaching job, Grant. If someone gives it to him, hey, you might as well capitalize it. I do blame the Bucks because again, you moved on from Budenholzer. You bring in Adrian Griffin, and you were doing and you had a 30-13 record. I'm shocked with Doc. I mean, he's getting more opportunities as head coaches as the Kardashians are getting more opportunities as far as dating men. That's how I look at it.
Oh my God. Okay, PSP, you're disgusting.
I'm sorry.
I thought I was bad with the jokes.
No, you said it. You said it. No, you said it. It's out there now. Hey, you're gonna have to clip that. Oh my gosh.
That was a nice one.
But
that was a nice one.
That's it. Go.
That was a nice one.
BRF.
How the hell am I supposed to follow that? How the hell am I supposed to follow that?
Kardashians are getting more men out there. I mean, Kim Kardashian dating, Khloe Kardashian dating,
why do you
think
Devin Booker ever?
Kardashian dating. That's how I look at with Doc Rivers. He's getting opportunities like crazy. Damn.
How? Okay. Okay. Well, to attempt to follow that last comment by my boy PSP. All right. Here we go. I'm gonna give it a shot. Let me rein this back in. Okay. Now to piggyback off of something you said, Grant, why they can't fire him after half a season? They fired Adrian Griffin after 43 games. Why they can't fire Doc after half a season? What? Because it's Doc. I mean, that's how I feel about it. I mean, where did he get you at the end of the day? He got you out. Yeah, okay. Doc Rivers is a bigger name than Adrian Griffin. He got you put out in 6 games in the first round. Did no good. If they wanted to get rid of him, I'd have no problem with it. Go a younger coach, more energetic coach. I don't see why not. Honestly, for that squad, I think it would make more sense. Even with a guy like Giannis, with a guy like Dame, who are veterans in the league, I think a younger, energetic coach would fit them way better than Doc Rivers would at this point. They need a spark. They need something. They need something in Milwaukee. And honestly, it ain't Doc. They're only keeping Doc for the name brand, for the name value and all that. And even still, he's arguably the most overrated coach in the history of sports. I was convinced by some people on TikTok and IG, a couple years back, he is the most overrated coach in the history of sports. And I can't disagree with that point. Because I mean, he's still piggybacking and living off of that one championship he won in Boston, and people are just like, okay, we got the roster, we bring in Doc, he's gonna find that magic, and they don't find it, and then the next team try to say the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, who was it? Okay, it ran out in Boston. Okay, then the Clippers tried it, got close, didn't work. And then the 76ers tried it, it didn't work. I mean, it's like, what do you do at this point? I don't think they're gonna fire. I don't think they are gonna fire him. I think they're gonna give him 2024. But if it was me, I would get him out and I would get somebody younger, because at this point, you were brought in to be able to add your veteran presence. You can still talk to these players. You still have an ability to talk to these players. It's just that I don't. His scheme, yeah, like what PSP was saying, like his scheme is just. It's not this NBA. His scheme is not this NBA. I mean, he's still in kind of like that. That offense more half court based. Just simple basic. It's not what the league is based on nowadays. I mean, the league is based on more transition. It's like motion offense, switches, being more athletic, on defense and being able to guard multiple people, being able to guard multiple positions and everything in the league nowadays. And I don't know, man. Doc as a coach, just he don't do it for me anymore as a coach. So if Milwaukee wanted to get rid of him and go younger at the head coaching spot, I'd have no problem with it. Do I think they're going to do it? Probably not, just from the standpoint they didn't have Giannis in this first round. And I think they're going to look at that and be like, okay, maybe if we have a fully healthy squad, give Doc a full year, let's see where it goes. But I don't trust Doc Rivers. That's my opinion. I don't think he should stay, but I think they're going to. I think they're going to keep him. I don't think he should stay, but they're going to keep him.
Big Champ, talk to me.
Whoo, man. I had to go off the air for a second because I'm still over here laughing.
Look, he's gotten more jobs than the Kardashians have gotten men.
The fact that I kept a straight face for my whole segment, being able to follow that, like just I don't know anymore. I don't know.
Hey, I love it. I love it, man. I love it. But let me get back into professional mode. I will say this though, man. I think I want to see what he's gonna do for a full season with everybody healthy. That way, when they walk you out that door, you don't have a reason to say anything. I'm just saying.
So now I use the Kardashians. You want to be?
I'm just saying. I mean, you don't. Hey, if you in the real world, when you don't do your job, they walk your ass out that door, don't it?
Yes, they do.
That's just the bottom line. I made perfect sense when I said that. So
what is going on with this podcast tonight, bro?
So I want to see what Doc is going to do with everybody else. So my thing is, you have to give him a full season. You may not want to, but you have to, in order to see what is he going to do with this roster under his tutelage. They don't have the same scheme in effect for the entire season. And how's he going to use Giannis and everybody for an entire season? It's very difficult coming into a team in the middle of the season and knowing that, you only got half a season, especially with a team of this much expectation, especially this team. We saw that happen with the great Mike D'Antoni when he came in for the Lakers with that team, with that super team, with them, Kobe, and Nash in the middle of the season. It doesn't work out. And unfortunately for him, they walked him out the door the very next year because he didn't do nothing. So, and that's unfortunate as well. But guess what? They had to give him a year or two in order to see what you're going to do with this entire roster under your tutelage and under your watchful eye. As far as Doc Rivers is concerned, I've been on the record saying this plenty of times. He is the modern day version of Lenny Wilkens. He is living off of that championship that he got with the Boston Celtics, who was not only a storied franchise, who was on a drought for almost 25 years without a title. But you have to think about those veterans who were on that team. KG, Ray Allen, Kendrick Perkins, not to mention the great Paul Pierce. Those guys were hungry for a championship. Those guys were hungry. They had been in the pits of obscurity on other teams. They have been on other teams that were in the conference finals but were close, but just on the cusp, close but not just there. They had been there. And it's just like the only thing that they were lacking is that other superstar, in their case, 2 superstars that was going to help them get there. But as far as Doc is concerned, much like Lenny Wilkens, you had many great teams. You've had many great superstars. You've had Tracy McGrady. You've had Lob City. I mean, 3 All-Stars. And let's not forget the utility players that they had with, Matt Barnes, just to name a few. Then
Jamal Crawford.
Jamal Crawford as well. Shout out to the great Jamal Crawford, future Hall of Famer.
Shout out.
Then, not only that, you get Kawhi, Paul George. You do nothing. Then you go to Philadelphia. And they trust you with the process. And that process should have been processed meat because guess what? It didn't go far. So my thing is this. You've been entrusted, much like Lenny Wilkens, with a lot of great teams. And you've done nothing with them. Remember Lenny Wilkens after that 79 team, he had the Cleveland Cavaliers. He had that team. Then, as you already know, BRF, he had the Atlanta Hawks. Then he had another great team. Didn't do anything. Didn't even get to a conference finals. So those 2 are in the same conversation. They literally built their career off of one championship with a bunch of veterans, and then for the rest of the time, you couldn't do anything. So with Doc, people need to stop giving him the benefit of the doubt, especially if he doesn't do anything with this roster here. You have arguably one of the best 2-way power forwards in today's game. You have Damian Lillard. You have Chris Middleton. This is the most star power that you have had on a team since that Boston team. So you need to get it together because, like I said, I want to give you a year to see what you're going to do, how many adjustments that you're going to make. What are you going to do with this superstar in your hands? This is the biggest star. No disrespect to none of the other guys he had. Giannis is arguably the biggest star that Doc Rivers has had. He's already a champion. He's a 2-time MVP.
I don't think it's arguable.
So this is arguably the greatest superstar you have ever had. So if you don't win with this guy and Dame, Chris Middleton, there's no more excuses. I don't want to hear another coaching job about Doc Rivers unless he's coaching the Columbus Blazers, who's a part of the AAU team. That's all I want to hear about Doc Rivers after this.
Doc Rivers better learn Chinese.
Bro.
Send him.
Zinger after zinger.
Send him with. How about this?
Hey,
Send him for
listen.
D'Lo to Shanghai, and then we're satisfied. That's how that's going to work.
Even though this is primarily a sports podcast, we don't mind talking about entertainment about other
Boy,
stuff.
we've been on point. We've been on point tonight.
and I will clip this. I will say it again. Doc Rivers has got more opportunities as a head coach than the Kardashians have dated Ben. That's all I need to say. Because I'm sorry. It's just out there, man. I mean, Kim's dating other men. I mean, Kim went from Ray J to Pete Davidson and the Kanye and all this other stuff.
Now
and the Chloe, Kendall Jenner. I mean, how many more opportunities have this dude has gotten, man? I'm sorry.
Now, I guess I'll say this and throw a little zinger in there. I tell you what, boy, this is I'll go as far as saying this is probably Doc's best roster on paper since those Lob City days. So I'm gonna say this much: if he don't at least get to the conference finals with this roster, we might be hearing Doc starting to say "ni hao" as far as like having to go coach China. I'm telling you what, because this gonna be I think this is his last shot with an already built championship contending roster. This is his last shot. If he don't do it with this, that's it. That's a wrap. Because I'm not giving him I don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like Giannis is one of those game-changing players where it's like it doesn't matter who your coach is with a player like him. It doesn't matter who your coach is. I mean, God rest. I mean, I love Mike Budenholzer as a coach. Don't get me wrong. I mean, what he did for our Hawks, that 2015 squad.
Yeah.
Hey, number love for the man. I mean, that he got 60 wins out of that roster. I got number love for the man. But bro, Giannis is just one of those game changer players where it doesn't matter who the coach is. Giannis got that man a championship. So that just tells you how good of a player Giannis Antetokounmpo is. So if Doc can't win with this, he just no more good teams for this man if he can't win with this. That's it.
That's about it.